Welcome to Fiddler Talk. Saber Main here with Reaper 1 episode. What episode is it actually? That's a good question.
It's episode 5, man.
Yes.
We're at 5 episodes right now. It's crazy.
5 episodes. Look at it.
I didn't think we'd get this far.
Yeah. I didn't think we were going to make it. All right. Look, we made it. Episode 5. Welcome to the podcast. And look, today we're going to be talking about addiction, obsession. Those are the 2 topics today. So.
Bad obsessions, though. Not good obsessions.
Yes.
There are good obsessions.
Yes, there is a difference. And
being obsessed with the gym girl and following her around at night is not a good obsession. Don't do that. That's weird.
Yes. If you're obsessed with a girl, do not fucking stalk her. Get away from that. Detach.
You're the problem.
Exactly. All right. So, let's get into this. So, I'm going to throw you kind of under the bus. What is a definition for obsession in your terms? Like, let's hear it from your terms.
In my terms, obsession is a peculiar preoccupation of an object, thing, or something to attain. It is I can't get it out of my brain, yo. It's right here, and I'm going crazy about it kind of thing, you know? That is obsession. It is that crackhead kind of, I want that really bad, and I'm going to do whatever I can to get it.
Okay, so all right, so we're talking about obsession. What's the difference between obsession and addiction?
So obsession is something that you really, really, really want and can't get, right? You think about that, right? Obsession would be something that you want and you're striving towards, where addiction is something you have, you can't get rid of, and you need, and you need, and you need, and you need, and you need.
All right.
Right? So if I'm addicted to playing music, it means I'm going to, get up every day and the only thing I do is play music all day, and the only thing I think about is music, and the only thing that right? Jimi Hendrix was addicted to music, right? Jimi Hendrix got kicked out of the military. He was doing all kinds of stuff to get kicked out, man. They caught him masturbating in public several times. I'm not kidding, right? Right? They caught him doing all kinds of stuff like that, right? They caught him that he started fights. He didn't do what he was told. He all kinds of stuff. And they eventually kicked him out, and he stated the reason why is because he just thought about playing guitar non-stop. That's why they kicked him out. He was trying to get kicked out, right? And eventually he was just like, "You just go play guitar. You're fine. You get out." Right? So that is addiction. Obsession, it's a fine line, right? Obsession and addiction. And I actually don't know what, like, the dictionary, the actual definitions, how they would separate them, because it's very similar, but I know that there is, like, a fine line, right? If I'm obsessed with, I think the difference between obsession and addiction is one you really want but can go without with, and one you need and your life depends on.
That's what I was thinking. That was the definition I was thinking. I think an obsession is something that's in your head and you're sophisticated, so it's like a fantasy in your head. And
right.
you want it, but you can't have it. So you're obsessed over it. And an addiction is something that you have and you can't get rid of it.
I think it's opposite, right? I think one you want, one you don't want, you know?
Yeah, you could go that route.
One, obsession you want, and you do whatever you can to strive towards that goal. Addiction you don't want, and you're trying to do whatever you can to get rid of that.
So obsession could turn into addiction.
I'd say, yeah, absolutely.
Yes.
I'd say so. I'd say addiction would probably be the end result of obsession. I could be wrong.
Yeah.
I'm not a genius.
Yeah, I mean, I'm not this freaking professor or whatever, but anyways.
I thought you were. You're wearing glasses. You look smart.
Yeah, I know. Hey,
you look very smart for episode
Always
5.
look the part, right? gotta look the part to fake it till we make it, right? Hey, there you go. That's what I'm talking about. That's what I'm talking about.
Dude,
yeah.
I look like I have that fake glass with the nose on right now.
Yeah, oh yeah. Hey, now
Yeah.
that's your look.
Dude,
That's your looks.
she's so blind. Oh, good lord.
Oh man.
Anyways, so addiction. What's an addiction, man? What Sims? I want to know what are you addicted to
All right, so
personally? I'm
I
invading.
don't.
I'm invading your personal space.
All right, so I don't think I. So this is gonna be honest. I don't say I have an addiction because I could turn around and just drop whatever. And people I've seen.
Could you?
Yes. Obviously
I could quit smoking.
I vape.
You're like, I could quit smoking anytime.
But I'm gonna be honest. When you know me, when I was in the military, I smoked before I met you. I smoked vapes. I was vaping, and when we left to go to Korea, I actually put my vape in the wrong bag, and the whole time in Korea I didn't vape. And then when we got back, I didn't vape. And then I just picked it up and started vaping. And then I went and bought. I bought an Escobar, and I was smoking an Escobar, and I lost it. And I was like, well, I just lost $25. Like, I ain't gonna go spend another $25 on an Escobar. Like, there it goes. So I don't think I have an addictive personality, but I have found this out over time, and mainly since I left the military, I have became more addicted with going to the gym. I have an addiction to being in the gym. Like, if I don't go to the gym, I have this itch, and I feel like I'm not being productive.
You know what? That's a good way to describe it, right? Because there are points to where I'm obsessed with the gym, and I think about the gym, and I do my best to go to the gym every day. And then there are points in my life to where I'm addicted to the gym, and I do nothing but go to the gym every single day. And it could be the only thing that I'm like really dedicated and like to doing.
Yeah.
You know, I'm obsessed with music, but I don't play music every day. I don't like that about myself. I really don't. So I wouldn't say I'm addicted to music. But I am obsessed with music, so I think that's a good way to describe it. Because I do notice like I drop off in the gym sometimes, and I'm like obsessed with it, and I still think about it, and I still like I should go and I should do this, and like, man, my muscles aren't, I don't feel good anymore, and I should probably get back in there. And then there are times that I'm like nonstop going.
Yeah, I think I have. All right, so I won't say an addiction to it. I'll say that I have an obsession at that point. Where I'm
hydrating.
Yeah. All right. So
don't judge me.
Another one is like people are addicted to alcohol, and the addiction to an alcohol. Like I never had that. Like I said, I never had that personality. And over time, you've seen me. Like we've seen people in the military that have to have a drink every single night, and they drink a bottle.
It's bad, and what I noticed in the military is the alcohol addiction is never fully addressed. It really isn't ever.
No, it's joked about.
Especially in the civilian side, if like people that drink like that are addicted, and families are like you need to stop. Like this is not good for you. You're spiraling out of control. And then people in the military will drink 3 times as much as actual alcoholics, and everybody just kind of jokes about it. And I noticed that
it is a thing. But I also get like that's a coping mechanism in the military for being away from family. So that's why people do it, which is a bad coping mechanism. And I'm going to tell you a good coping mechanism right now. And I have learned this, and I found this one out. Jiu-jitsu. Go to
gym.
Jiu-jitsu. You can
the
do the
gym. Some kind of combat sport.
Yes.
Whatever you're doing, just go do it. It's much better than drinking. Having an outlet is much better, creative or physical, as long as you're not like chopping people up in your basement. Don't do that.
That is a whole different
That's not the outlet I'm talking about.
Yes, don't do that. Definitely don't go to that level. But go to the gym.
The more you know.
Yeah, the magical rainbow.
The more you know.
So, I overall in addiction, we can talk like here's one thing I learned about being like the veteran community, and I'm learning more about it, and I'm trying to help more in the veteran community as much as everyone. There's a whole bunch of people. There's a whole bunch of programs out there helping in the veteran community, but there's some that I disagree with, and that is the people that try to get you on pills. try to get you on some kind of like,
Dude.
oh, you got depression. All right, here's this medicine. Take
That
this
is-
medicine. It's gonna make you feel good.
That is the worst thing about society right now is that like 90% of people you see are on some kind of medication. I don't even like taking ibuprofen.
All right, so I have heard this, and I kind of looked into this. We have less mental hospitals, like beds in mental hospitals nowadays than we did back in the day. But we're so quick to prescribe someone with medicine and be like, oh, here's this medicine. This is going to keep you up. All right, well, now you're staying up too long. Now I got to give you a medicine to put you to sleep. Like, what's the point of it?
You're on a drug roller coaster.
Yeah, you're on a roller coaster. There's some guys that
It's like you can't sleep. Okay, here's this pill. Take this pill, but this pill makes you anxious. So I'm gonna give you this pill to keep the anxious away. But this pill is gonna make you really, really paranoid. So I'm gonna give you this pill to keep the paranoia away. But that's gonna make you depressed, which is gonna make you too sleepy. So I'm gonna give you this pill to wake you up a little bit.
Yeah, exactly. Look.
Then I'll give you these pills again so you fall asleep.
Hey, you know what's crazy? Like, I'm gonna call out some names right now. So the FDA will not approve of something unless they can see the rate of it's gonna kill someone. So a medicine can't get approved until they find out the rate that it's gonna kill someone.
Yeah.
Which
lethality, man. I love that. I absolutely love that when you see a commercial and it's going through the little side effects. May include death, and you're like, wait, what? What was that last one? What'd you say? They had it in the middle though. They're like death, diarrhea, and stroke sometimes, and you're like, wait a minute, go back to what was that?
Yeah, well, it's not even.
You can't heal that.
But to me, I try to protect my body. I try to like everything. So, but why would I want to put something in my body that's going to give me side effects that I wouldn't want?
Says the guy who's smoking right now.
Hey, man, this is actually all right. You got me. All right. Yes, but
we all have our bad habits.
Yes,
I'll break you. I'll break you. It's okay.
It's all right. We'll get there.
Come to the light side where we don't drink or smoke or do anything bad.
Hey, man,
where's my halo? No, I'm just kidding.
Yeah, but
I'm a bad person. I really.
But here's the thing: I'm fully aware of what this does, but I'm also at this point. Why would I want to so this? Here's my thing: if it's grown from a plant, and it still has a plant base, to me, I don't think that's like it's a medicine, but I don't think it's different. Like a pill you put in a lab, it's more of a herb when it's from a plant, is what I was trying to say. It's a herb.
It's an herb, not a herb.
Yeah, herb. Yeah, I got you. Thank you.
Herb sounds like a dude. Like, oh, this is Herb over here. Just like,
hey, yeah, check him out.
I'm Herb. How you doing? I want some drugs.
Yeah. So I say medicine's weird to me. If you are taking medicine, I say try to take natural medicine that's like an herb instead of a medicine that's made in a lab. And that's me. I would rather take medicine that's an herb that I could go a plant based or anything like that.
My mother's one of those essential oil people. She'd be like, "Oh, you have a tummy ache? Let me rub some ginger on your stomach." Like, what? No, I don't want to smell like ginger all day. She's like, I'll put some mint on your ears. You're like, what the? Go away from me.
Hey, man.
But some of it works, dude. Some of it works. I'll tell you.
It does.
It works. She's got like peppermint oils and ginger oils and stuff. Some of that stuff works.
No, it really does. But again, by the way, a lot of the medicine is being made is actually made from that stuff, but it comes out of a lab. They changed it to make it a certain way, and I'm like,
work faster, work better, and it's all chemically changed, and that's the problem.
But what are we known for nowadays? Is we want that fast dopamine.
So I was a kid. I was probably like 8 or 9, and my dad. I was getting a lot of headaches, right? And my dad, I was taking ibuprofen nonstop, and my dad's like, "What are you doing, man?" And I'm like, "I have a headache." He's like, like ibuprofen wrecks your kidneys up, and I was like, I had no idea, right? So I never took ibuprofen again, and you know what? I stopped getting headaches, unless I hit my head on something. It's that you take the ibuprofen, it gives you start getting headaches.
Okay, so we were
Side effects.
We were in a conversation and we were talking about this, and I didn't know this, and we were talking about caffeine. Could you give up caffeine 100%? Because caffeine is an addiction that we have as humans.
Yeah.
Can you give up caffeine 100%? And I said yes. And they are like, are you sure that you could give up caffeine 100%? And I'm like, yes, I can. Like I don't drink soda, and that's the first thing that comes to mind. Everyone's like, oh, soda, caffeine.
Tea, coffee, pre-workout, energy drinks.
Yes. So all those things, and I'm like, cool, I can give all that stuff up. That's fine. But you know something that I have a little tiny sweet tooth. And
I have such a big sweet tooth.
My sweet tooth goes to chocolate. What's in chocolate?
Caffeine.
Yes. So I had to go back and be like, I cannot give up caffeine 100% due to the fact that I don't need a lot of chocolate because I can't eat a lot of chocolate. But that little bit of chocolate that I do eat, every once in a while, I'm like, yeah, that's it.
I blame my dad for this because when I was a kid, he used to take us to the store, and mom's not there. He's like, "Go get a box of candy." And so you go get a box of candy from your dad, eat it in the car on the way home.
Yeah.
And, get rid of the evidence, right?
Yeah.
And so now I have, because he had a big sweet tooth, but he was a mailman. He walks 20 miles a day in the heat. He has no fat on his body whatsoever. He can eat whatever he wants, whenever he wants. I, on the other hand, just got this huge sweet tooth. I have this huge sweet tooth. And then I started getting fat because of it. And now just like working out and stuff, you're like, I need candy. I'm like Willy Wonka. Sugar is the worst addiction. Sugar is the worst addiction in the world. It's my addiction. And that's something I'm trying to work on.
Sugar is kind of hard to break.
It is so hard to break.
There's more addictions that we're going to get into, but I'm going to get through this one real fast. Since we're kind of talking about sugar and that. So me as a kid, my grandmother gave me a lot of candy. She gave me a lot of sweet stuff. So as growing up, as my grandma was giving me all this stuff, I had a lot of sugar and a lot of that. And you come from like kind of a big family. And so you so you had your siblings. Well, I'm pretty sure that like you guys didn't get candy all the time as a kid either. Like you got it here and there when you can.
Not really true. We did Bible trivia every Friday, and my dad would just throw out candy. I had candy every week, dude.
Did you have all right? So my grandmother's house had soda stocked, had candy on the table, like sweets all over. It was free to eat all you want. That's what it was.
It's not good.
Yeah, it was just like have as much as you can and just grump. That's basically what it was. And every kid in the neighborhood knew that. Come to grandma's house. Grandma will feed you with sweets. That's what it was.
Was your grandma the main protagonist in Hansel and Gretel?
Probably.
No offense. I am not calling grandma a witch. I just thought it was a good job.
No, I got you. But so, anyways, we had all these sweets, and I think me growing up was having the option to eat all those sweets growing up because I was a little fat kid.
Oh, I was too.
And as I got older, I started getting. I'm like, these are kind of disgusting. Like, I want veggies. I want apples. And now that's like I would rather eat veggie than apples. I go to the store and I see sweets, and I'm like, oh, well, nasty. I don't want those. So
that's good. That's really good. I'm almost there.
Yeah.
I was given some candy for Christmas and
you demolished it. You're like,
no, I demolished it. I still got a lot of it. I'm slowly throwing some of it away though because I don't want it. And you do it. Your brain's like, I want it, but you're like, no, I don't really want it. Especially when you eat like 3 pieces, you're like, I feel terrible. Let me go, destroy my toilet real quick.
Exactly. All right, so let's get into some other addictions. We have, obviously, we kind of talked a little bit about the drug addiction. A lot of the times people, and y'all could correct me if I'm wrong, but I feel like people use drugs for two different reasons. One is for that little bit of dopamine that they get in their brain. And then the next one is, I feel like a lot of people use drugs in the fact to try to forget the situation that they're in, and
I would
so
say
they try to get out of reality.
I would say there's three, and the other one is solely addiction. Because there are people that are drug addicts and hate the fact that they're drug addicts, but it's an addiction and they can't stop it.
So, but I'm kind of curious. My curiosity is what led you to doing that, and I kind of seen from other people is to try to get out of reality.
I hear a lot. It's also social.
Yes, social is one when you get peer pressured into doing something,
Yeah.
But here, all right. I probably said this once before, and I'm gonna say it again. You're the average of the 5 people you hang out with most. Someone told me this, and at first I didn't click, and I started realizing you're the average of the 5 people you hang out with most. Well, if you're in a crowd of people that are doing drugs, bound to happen, and you feel like you don't belong. Obviously, you don't belong. You need to leave. You need to find a new group of people to hang out with. If you don't, you're going to be the average of the 5 people you hang out with most. So you're going to start going with that crowd. So if your environment is not the right place, it's time to step out of that environment and find a new environment to be in. And I mean, I feel like I have done that my entire life. And obviously, I look at you. I'm pretty sure you've done it your entire life. You found new crowds to go in.
I have.
When your army stories.
So that brings me to a pretty good story, actually. When I was 17, I got a job working at Winn-Dixie. And I met a pretty good friend. His name was Eric. I won't say his last name. He was a good friend, right? And so this is my first time out in the real world. And he was opposite end of the spectrum political-wise. But the really cool thing about him is me and him would debate back and forth. We'd be stocking the shelves and we'd debate back and forth. We were the best. We were really good friends. And we never once was like, man, you're a bad person, or go away. I don't want to talk to you because of your opinion, right? So we were always really debating. But I started to notice slowly that because he used drugs. And you do you. It's what I mean. I don't care, right? But I did notice slowly that I pulled away because I realized that you kind of become who you hang around with, and it's not something that I wanted to hang around with, right? And I wish I still would have kept in contact with him when I left for the military. Sadly, I didn't, and I don't have his number anymore. So shout out to you, man. You were a great friend coming out of a very awkward stage in my life. Thanks for putting up with me, right? But I do notice that, right? And that's something that I did, right? And I pulled away, not because of who he was, but because of who I didn't want to be. And you have to realize, you have to do that in life, right? You have to pull away from situations and pull away from people if you want to become who you want to be and not who they want you to be.
Yeah, you do. There's another story, and this is actually from your wife. Hey guys, look, gonna put you on it. Look,
don't you?
He's not a fiance anymore.
Yeah,
he is not a husband. He got married. Congratulations!
Look at them fat fingers.
So,
you're not fat.
He got married. So huge shout out to you, bro.
Appreciate it, man.
Well, your wife, she was talking when she first joined the military. She was hanging out with some of her friends from AIT that went to the same base, and she would say this. And we got to bring her on because I want her to tell the story one of these days.
She won't. So watch what you say.
I know.
She don't like the story. So watch what you say.
Yeah. So she was hanging out with the crowd, and while she was hanging out with that crowd, she went to a party and she realized that's not what I want to involve my I'm doing this as a career. This party and things like this isn't it for me. I don't like this. And so she realized that, and she got away from that group of friends. Does she still appreciate them as friends? Yes. But she's like, that's not the crowd I want to be around, and that's not going to be the average. Yeah. So she went and found a new group to go and hang out with. So
what I hear was a good group. I mean, it was you and a few of the guys that I know, and it was a good group. I didn't know at the time, but
yeah,
that's
well,
okay.
I kind of came in. I actually met your wife when we were in Korea.
It's funny you knew.
Well, no, I lied. I met your wife earlier because she was S1. So
yeah, I met her too. I met her in Korea.
Yeah, I met her earlier
a few times
before. But I mean, I didn't really at that point. I was all over the place. We were wilding at that point. And then once we got to Korea, I started focusing more into I got away from the negativity, basically. I got out of that negatively mindset, which happens in the military. You get in that negative mindset where everyone's like, I give you 3 months and then you're going to hate this place. Well, guess what, man? Stop saying that to people.
I already hate this place.
Yeah, see, and I'm like, cool. I don't like what I'm doing, but at the same time, understand why you're doing it. Like, you're the one that signed the contract. You're the one that's there. So do your obligation and do it at the best of your ability. So, anyways, I finally got away and I got into this new unit, which was HAC. When we got into HAC, I realized the difference. Everyone still is hating their life, but I'm like, no. I'm not going to think that way. I'm going to think this way. I actually enjoy this. All right. Embrace the suck. And everyone's like, oh, just embrace the suck. Or jokingly, but no, actually embrace the suck because it only builds your character.
I think that's why I saw Major like me so much, because I was never like, man, this sucks. I don't want to do this. It was just like, I got my harmonica. We're good.
Yeah. I remember the first sergeant for HHT when I was there, he said, he's all like, I don't understand you. You smile. You're smiling in the morning for PT. You're smiling. I'm like, enjoy it. I only live once. Life is great. And I wake up every morning and I get to do a physical activity, even though sometimes running 5 miles is not fun.
No,
I don't care who you are.
It is really cool when you can put your mind to it. I'm getting paid to do this. This is pretty great.
Yeah, and it's not even
that moment when it clicks in your brain, I'm getting paid to do this. I'm getting paid to be here and do this kind of stuff. This is my life right now.
Yeah.
Especially on those days where you wake up for PT, you do PT, you go in your room at 7:00. You're supposed to have room inspections, and then nobody comes around. And you're in your room till 1300. You go to a formation or something like that, and they let you go, and you're like, today was really awesome.
Yeah, and you're sitting there I really didn't do anything. But
and then people complain that they complain that I gotta go to the motor pool at Monday morning.
Yeah, but at the same time, you cool. Understand all right, Monday morning we might work hard, but that Wednesday that might come for that room inspection. Now we're who knew that Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, whatever was going to be a day that you're just going to be. You're going to play video games in your room. You take those days and you appreciate those days more. Remember, there's more good days than bad days.
You've got to get out of that mindset. You got to separate yourself from people that are gonna change who you are. Be a leader, not a follower. So, in the spirit of keeping it towards addictions, because that dang monkey comes in and that monkey.
Yeah, that monkey likes to throw in, right?
So in the spirit of addictions, man, give me a few addictions that people might not think are addictions.
I think one that's finally starting to come out and a lot more. And I heard this from your wife again. There's a couple things in the military. You become addicted to nicotine. Mm-hmm. You're either addicted to nicotine or you're addicted to liquor.
It's cool to be addicted to both.
Yeah,
it's almost cool to be addicted to it. If you're not addicted, people used to come to me all the time. How are you in the military? You don't drink, or you don't drink, you don't have premarital sex, and you don't smoke or anything. I'm like,
yeah. So here's the things in the military that I think the common thing I see as an addiction more is nicotine, alcohol, and then we have the workaholics being addicted to work. That's a big one. If they're not addicted to nicotine or alcohol, they're majority of the time they're addicted to work. So they don't know how to not work. And I'm one of them. I'm one of them that did not know how to stop working. I always wanted to work. Even though I didn't want to work, in my head I didn't want to work, but I worked. I wanted to.
It's not a bad addiction until you have a family.
Yeah, and that's one of the things. So that's another one. The next one that they were saying is being addicted to sex. So now you're addicted to this, and I forgot. There's one more addiction that's out there, and I can't remember it in my head that was calming. So it's just kind of I did a brain fart. Yes, caffeine is the only addiction in the military. So most of the time, the people are addicted. Like they're all like, monsters and nicotine keeps me going. I'm like, man.
The really sad thing is that most soldiers are addicted to all of them.
Yeah,
and it just creates a bad life. It really does. Because a lot of soldiers are depressed, man. A lot of soldiers, a lot of friends that I met are really depressed.
And I'm gonna be honest. I think where that depression is coming from is coming off of addiction. Because if you're addicted to sex, that means you're most likely masturbating. You're doing all this other stuff. And
it's
what does
terrible.
that do?
Absolutely terrible.
You get that little tiny niche of dopamine in your brain because you're releasing.
I can't stand how people say that it's healthy for you and that it's natural. That is the most repulsive thing you could possibly do.
It is. And that little tiny niche of dopamine isn't enough. By the way, it's not helping your testosterone. It's not helping the levels in your brain. And you need to have your levels in your brain pretty equal. And I feel like that's one thing the military, I think, is failing at. Not just the military, but I think it's everyone. I think we should get tested to see where our levels are and try to stick in that
that's interesting.
Good level. I think
that's really interesting.
Yeah, I think the military has the opportunity that if we tested our soldiers
blood work and all that. Yeah, if you had a mandatory blood work every year, that'd be really interesting to see where they could take you with that, right? Because they could change the way they do the defect. They could change the way that they do the MREs. They could change all kinds of stuff and really boost people up and make a better functioning military. That's really interesting.
Yeah, that was my biggest thing is I didn't know this at that time, and I started doing more research and I started learning, and I'm actually trying to get my levels. I'm about to go get my levels checked because I want to know.
I would really like to.
Yeah, I want to know where if my levels are right where they need to be, or if something's lower, to make sure I try to keep that good levels. So I think that's
right. And I mean, especially like Big Pharma and all these people don't take into account men's testosterone levels. If your testosterone level is low, it is unhealthy.
Yeah,
and more unhealthy than nicotine or alcohol or even sugar.
Yeah, in the only thing
men specifically, it's really bad.
If you are a male and you're doing like you're trying to do testosterone, actual testosterone, not testosterone boosters because those aren't real. But you're out there doing that and you're making your levels of testosterone skyrocket, and then you become more aggressive and all that other stuff, and that's not good for you either. It's also finding a good level.
You have to be careful too, because if you're going to use steroids, you're going to test. Go to a doctor, do it the right way, because if you don't, your body will never produce that stuff again.
Yeah,
you have to be on it forever, regardless. So, no, I think the blood work is a really good. It's a really interesting idea to apply to the military sense.
I don't think it's just for the military. I don't think it's just the military. But the military has the potential to do it because
they have the ability to.
Yes, they have everything there that can make it happen, and I think that's something that should happen.
I personally get on a tangent here, right? Because the monkey, right? I personally hate the way the military treats its soldiers and their, hygiene and health and the food that they feed you. I think it's terrible. I think the military. I honestly think, especially in combat arms, that you should go in the military as a combat arms soldier, and you should be blood work. Here's what you're going to do to get your testosterone up. Here's what you're going to do to get your muscles up and your strength up. This is exactly what you're going to go do. You're going to go do a range every 3 weeks. You're going to learn how to shoot better, and you're going to be a monster of a person. I really think it should be like that. I think you should go and should work out and do nothing but train and work out nonstop. I don't think that you should be doing vehicle maintenance. I don't think you should be doing, lectures and all that kind of stuff. I think you should be training mind and body and focusing everything you can on being the absolute baddest, person, baddest monster. I'm not going to curse. I'm trying not to curse anymore.
Bro, I don't mean. I'm going to be honest. Yes. So in the chain, the train for military, I do say that if you're out there and you're in combat arms, I do say PT should be harder. Because guess what? I'm gonna be honest. We said his name out here, and he has that Fuller fit. I'm just gonna be honest. Yes, that Fuller is a big guy. He's a big guy. Just imagine I now weigh 160. So I weigh at 160, and imagine me having to carry Fuller out of the battlefield. Well, I can't do it. Like I'm gonna be 100% right now. I cannot physically do it right now, but I need to be able to.
Yeah, no, I agree. So what I would like to see in the future for the military, especially the Army, is that I think that bases should be full combat and that it should be fully developed for combat only. I think you should get into a base as a combat arms kid and be like, I'm 17 years old, and they should be like, okay, cool, you're 160 pounds. You're going to be at 200 by the end of the year. You're going to eat this. You're going to do that. I think that they should do nutrition plans. I think they should do full workout plans. I think PT should be completely different. I think it shouldn't be PT outside. I think that it should be like, I think PT should change anyways, because there's a lot of big guys in the military that shouldn't be in the military to begin with. And so I think PT should change from what they do now to, blood work and measuring your body fat percentages and doing your nutrition right and all that kind of stuff. And I think you should get PT cards, and you go and you check in every day, and you have to work out a certain amount of time every day.
I think like, so you said
I have a whole new plan.
Yeah. So when we get into like body percentage on the scale, I like that has to be a whole nother episode, because I'm going to tell you right now,
yeah.
I could go on a rant on that one, because from time that it came out to what it is, I do agree with it somewhat, but I also don't agree with it with the females. It's not equal for the females.
No, it shouldn't. And it shouldn't.
Different.
But no, I think that as a combat arms guy, you should go in and you should have the opportunity. I don't think that the way we do ranges and the way we do qualifying shoots is working. I think that as a soldier, you should get your weapon, and you have your weapon, and they give you your weapon, and you should be able to customize it however you want, however it makes you a better shot. And I think you should be able to take that. I think that ranges should be open 24/7. I think you should have civilians working it, and you can go in and you can shoot as much as you want, because I think you need to be the best shot you can be.
That's one of the big things that I have a problem with. And I'm seeing this from active, reserved, National Guard, and everyone. I ask people, like, how often do you go to a range? And
it's like once a year.
Once a year at the max.
Yeah.
And I'm like, that's crazy that you're supposed to be a proficient shot, but you're only going to a range once a year. Or there is a thing that I think everyone's missing in training. I think we don't bore sight our weapons. So when you get to a range, half the time people take their scopes off anyways. Do iron sights, which is cool. Do iron sights. That's beast. But we have this equipment and we're not using it because it's not bore sighted. Or what's the other one that we don't do the dime drill to do trigger squeeze, because trigger squeeze has a lot on it.
You do it in basic.
I will say though, in the Bradley fighting vehicle, you will do gunnery every quarter.
Yeah.
But you will not go to a range and shoot. And I get the Bradley fighting vehicle is your primary weapon, but also that M4 is a primary weapon as well.
No, yeah, I agree. I think as a combat arms guy, you should be able to go in, you should be given your meal plan, your workout plan, you should be given a coach. And I think that every school should be open to you. I think you should be given a weapon. I think it should be a completely different thing. I think you should be allowed to have a beard. I think you should be given a certain top that separates you from the rest of the army. I think that you should be given a certain PC that separates you from the entire army. And I think you should go around and do nothing but rank up. I think you should be like, okay, you want to go and you want to do air assault? There's schools here. Travel this location. Go walk on the school.
You know what you're speaking right now?
I'm doing it.
You know what you're speaking. So in reality, that's what I say the current day and age military should be.
That's what I think it should be. I absolutely agree.
What you're saying right now is literally what the Special Forces.
I know.
And I might be like, I'm not Special Forces. I'm not none of that. And we only like it's.
But I think that the Special Forces and all that kind of stuff is so hard to get into, and I think that it should be completely up to you. I think if you're like, hey, I'm gonna go do a Special Forces PT test. I think you should be able to walk onto a Special Forces PT test and just do it. So you're like, okay, yeah, the next one is tomorrow at 8. Come on, come do it. You know?
Yeah. Well, no, because I think Special Forces again, it should be a high, like you need to have high intensity. That's why I said qualify a certain way. But I do say that the military needs to start looking at the direction of the Special Forces where they were back in the past and how they were training, and we need to train in that direction. I think this got to be a whole nother episode because we are totally going. Oh yeah, right. This is going in depth. We're going way from addiction.
I have a lot of interesting concepts. I know. Yeah. I told you the monkey.
Oh yeah, no, I love this topic. I love where it's going, and I would love to keep going. But we're gonna go back to obsession.
We're gonna cut the episode here and then go talk about it.
So
2 episodes today.
Yeah. All right. Fully. Yes. Let's do it. All right. So something about obsession. All right, guys. This is mainly for you. I wanted to say this. This is something I wanted to say. All right. If you are a guy and you're dating a girl and she breaks up with you, and you're obsessed, and you're like texting her, trying to fix it. You need to detach your feelings, step out of it, pay attention to what's happening. Yes. Don't go sit there. Don't try to freaking go like, stop it. Stop that. Step out of it, detach all your feelings from it, accept what happened, and be like, cool, I'm better than this. The fantasy in my brain, I got to shut that fantasy off and start a new fantasy. And
you need the ability, especially as a man, you need the ability, and as a leader, to step out and look at it from above. You need the ability to step out from a situation and look at it and be like, you know what? This person is not good. I'm leaving. I'm never going to talk to him again. You need the ability to do that. As a leader and as a man, you need the ability to do that. To step back from the situation and be like, you know what? I can see it from both angles. I can see it from both persons' perspectives. And this is probably the right way to, route to go.
Yeah, I feel like that's one of the big things to do.
You can beat addiction, and you can gain obsession if you want it.
Yeah, and being able to, like I said, step out, detach from the situation, detach from your emotions in that, but also realizing like, hey, this person, understand all the good that you took from it, but understand like at that time it's time for you to be like, hey, this is not working, and I need to stop what I'm doing and realize that I need to be a better person than this, and I need to step out and explore a different route. That's huge. And nowadays, look, guys, there's a lot of guys out there that are doing a lot of crazy things. Stop. It's time to be a man. Step up, be a man, and understand that there's the common thing, plenty of fish in the seas, man. Yep. Take that line, cast it back out, and go get it.
On the verge of any other addiction, right? There's plenty of other things that are much healthier for you that you can be addicted to. And then good addictions and bad addictions, you get to choose it at the end of the day. You really do.
Yeah.
You have the power to change.
Look, here's another thing. All right, look, if that happens with you, use that energy in something else to better yourself. If that means going to the gym, if that means going to the jiu-jitsu, and that not even that, if that means progressing your career, go do something else.
Picking up the brush or the guitar or picking up the computer or the pen and writing and that's what that means, and do that.
Yeah.
On that note, we're out of time.
Well, yes.
Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, TikTok, YouTube. What else we got? Is that it? I think that's it.
Yeah. YouTube. All right, so YouTube's our main.
Go to those websites.
Go to YouTube. Give us a subscribe. Comment. Like the videos. Tell us what you like, what you dislike. Tell us what you want to hear, what you don't want to hear.
You know, it's definitely kind of funny. We're telling them to go to YouTube, but they're probably on YouTube. Say hello.
If you're on YouTube, just tell us what you like, what you don't like. Subscribe, follow us, all that fun stuff. If you like the stuff that we're doing, if you want to hear other stuff, let us know, because we do. I'm not gonna lie. I don't fully like when we talk about topics when we bring it up. I don't fully research in it, but I use my perspective in it. So
This is all raw, guys. This is kind of the point. Fiddler talk is very raw and very intimate. So come hang out.
So again, follow us on all those sites. If you're on YouTube, go to TikTok. Follow us on TikTok. If you're on TikTok, go to YouTube. Go to Instagram. Instagram, I'm not gonna lie, we're gonna be popping off on Instagram. I'm planning to do a lot more pictures and a lot more stuff with the Fiddler Initiative and whatnot.
We're working on it.
It's a process.
It's almost February.
Yes.
We're getting there. We got what, like a week left? A little more?
Yeah,
a little more than a week.
Left.
Like 10 days. So.
All right. Well, this is that end of this.
Reaper one out.
Saber Main out.